The devoted loser ends up with nothing. Poor Eun-sik ultimately lost Eun-hyo and sank into depression, ending up in the hospital. Every day, he clung to her photo, crying his heart out. One day, as he wandered the hallway, a crazed girl took him hostage. The girl, Kyung-ah, held a piece of glass in her right hand, and her left wrist bore obvious self-inflicted scars. Eun-sik, terrified, raised his hands to show he meant no harm. Suddenly, someone tossed Kyung-ah, knocking her out and dragging her away, leaving Eun-sik alone, crumpled in despair. 3 years flew by. Kyung-ah, now a sophomore, was the star of the university's swim team, with a good chance of making the national team. The former school graduate, Yumi, stayed on as the swim coach, while Kyung-ju became the assistant coach. Song-guk's once bustling club now had only him and Eun-sik, idly passing the days with endless banter. To keep the club alive, they needed new blood. One day, during lunch, Song-guk saw a boxing match on TV and was struck with inspiration. He decided to start a K1 boxing club. As a senior, Eun-sik wanted to give the freshmen a tough initiation. He mixed 2 basins of alcohol, soju, sake, and other stuff threw in cigarette butts and 2 stinky socks. Imagining their horrified faces as they drank, Eun-sik grinned from ear to ear.
선배님들 시범주는 없나요?
윤식아.
Eventually, Kyung-ah took Eun-sik home. After their unusual experience at the hospital, they became a couple, but their relationship remained limited to holding hands and hugging. Being a normal guy, Eun-sik sometimes had erotic dreams and even sleepwalked, but he was left with only embarrassment when he woke up.
아닙니다. 이렇게 불러주셔서.
This incident soon made the news, giving Eun-sik some unwanted fame. As a senior, Song-guk was very understanding of his junior and knew Eun-sik was moving out, so he gave him a special gift. Coincidentally, Kyung-ah saw the gift.
네가 허락할 때까지는 털끝 하나 안 건드릴 자신 있다고.
얘랑 살아.
Life in the boys' dormitory was always dull. Plain and Mushroom were messing around, using lollipops as toys, and one lollipop fell to the floor during their antics.
그거 뭔가 아니에요.
안 돼요.
To improve Kyung-ah's performance, the school hired a professional coach at great expense. His name was Yang Chai, and he had an imposing physique that made Yumi both envious and resentful. The first thing a boxer needs to train is courage. Song-guk had the freshman jump from a 10-meter platform. Plain, too scared, cursed and got kicked off by Song-guk. Mushroom quickly begged for mercy.
도저히 못하겠어요.
못하는 게 어딨어 이 자식. 시기. 야 이놈아. 꺼져 이 자식.
Yang Chai happened to pass by and, hearing the commotion, saved Song-guk. Just like the first time he saw Yumi, Song-guk's eyes became dreamy again. Unable to win Kyung-ah's body, Eun-sik found other ways to entertain himself, like standing at the staircase and sneakily peeking under girls' skirts. Feeling guilty, Kyung-ah decided to let Eun-sik have some fun. After a day of wild fun, Kyung-ah's shoe heel broke, so she had Eun-sik carry her. Passing a shoe store, she spotted a beautiful pair of high heels priced at 850,000 won. Eun-sik was stunned. Only a fool would buy such expensive shoes. One day, everyone went to a nightclub to relax, where Song-guk ran into his junior, Ji-jo. Ji-jo was handsome, now a promising prosecutor, and he and Kyung-ah had known each other but lost touch after she moved. It was clear Ji-jo had feelings for Kyung-ah, but she ended his hopes by introducing Eun-sik as her boyfriend.
저 소개할게요. 제 남자친구예요. 법대 졸업반.
친구? 애인?
결혼할 사람.
That night was a great one for Plain, Mushroom, and Song-guk, but to save you data, I'll skip the details. For more, you can watch the original movie. Yang Chai was a bold woman, rough in manner. She not only enjoyed being hit and scolded by others but also liked to hit others. Song-guk's performance did not satisfy her. This left Song-guk very frustrated, so he decided to find a place to work out. Afraid of being lonely, he dragged along the equally lonely Eun-sik. This part is pretty funny, but I'll save you some data by skipping the details. That night, the police conducted a raid, and the two were caught red-handed. To make matters worse, the entire incident was broadcast live on TV. Eun-sik and Song-guk ended up on the night news. Coincidentally, Kyung-ah and her mom were watching TV, and Kyung-ah's face showed clear disappointment when she saw Eun-sik. Eun-sik kept explaining to the police that he hadn't done anything, while Song-guk remained as calm as a seasoned offender. Soon after, Yumi and Kyung-ah arrived at the police station. Eun-sik tried to explain, but Kyung-ah wouldn't listen. Ji-hyo happened to be handling a case there, and Song-guk saw him as a savior. Thanks to Ji-hyo's help, both Eun-sik and Song-guk were released. Ji-hyo offered to drive Kyung-ah home, but she refused again.
나 다리 아파. 나 좀 업어줘.
고맙습니다.
갈게요.
형, 저 먼저 가요.
To thank Ji-hyo, Kyung-ah and Song-guk invited him to dinner. During the meal, Song-guk mentioned wanting to find a place to train but lamented the lack of budget. Ji-hyo seized the opportunity, saying his uncle owned a hotel on Jeju Island and could arrange something for them. Kyung-ju perked up at this. A wealthy and handsome prosecutor was exactly her type. The K1 club and the swim team soon headed to Jeju Island, where they enjoyed a perfect balance of fun and training, living a good life.
처음 느낀 그대 눈빛은 혼자만의 오해였던가요?
Although Eun-sik's singing wasn't great, he managed to set the mood perfectly. Excited, he pulled out a ring and got down on one knee. In my heart, her smile at that moment was her most beautiful. Everyone was having a blast, except for Ji-hyo. Watching the group dancing and singing, his eyes were filled with envy. Kyung-ju seized the moment to hug Ji-hyo. "Whatever you want, I can give it to you," she whispered. With alcohol fueling the fun, the young people started playing the King's Game, which involved some pretty risque dares. Eun-sik had the luck, or misfortune, of sharing a passionate kiss with Yang Chai, even daring to stick his tongue out. This infuriated Kyung-ah, who retaliated by kissing Ji-hyo during the game. Eun-sik was stunned, unable to believe his eyes. Meanwhile, Kyung-ju slyly took Ji-hyo's room key, planning to take their relationship to the next level that night. Chaos ensued. First, Yumi unleashed a flurry of punches on Yang Chai. Then, Kyung-ju went into the wrong room and ended up in bed with Eun-sik. When everyone took Kyung-ah back to her room, this was the scene they stumbled upon. After returning from Jeju Island, Kyung-ah participated in the national selection trials, but she injured her calf shortly after starting. An examination revealed that an old knee injury had flared up. Without proper treatment, her career could be over. Ji-hyo, using his connections, found the best doctor and planned to take Kyung-ah to the United States for treatment. In Kyung-ah's mother's eyes, Ji-hyo was already her future son-in-law, so she deliberately acted affectionately in front of Eun-sik. Eun-sik seemed to sense something, his expression becoming somber. After visiting Kyung-ah, he prepared to leave. Luckily, Kyung-ah's heart belonged to him.
오빠!
Ji-hyo confessed his love to Kyung-ah and offered to take her abroad for treatment, but Kyung-ah gently declined. Her mother also urged her, saying, "Just go to the US with Ji-hyo. You'll have a happy life together. Eun-sik is just an incompetent loser. What future do you have with him?" Kyung-ah lost her temper and had a huge argument with her mom. In everyone's eyes, Eun-sik is just a joke. So why would the promising Kyung-ah choose Eun-sik? It all goes back to 3 years ago. In high school, Kyung-ah was hurt by a coach. Poor Kyung-ah attempted suicide to prove her innocence. Luckily, she was saved and taken to the hospital, where she met Eun-sik. Eun-sik, moved by her past, cared for her with genuine affection, helping her emerge from the shadows and see the beauty in life. That's why Kyung-ah is unwaveringly with him. However, due to her past, she hasn't taken the next step with Eun-sik yet. It was Kyung-ah's birthday, and her friends had planned a surprise for her. Kyung-ah's mother first thanked Eun-sik, then subtly pressured him to break up with Kyung-ah by suggesting he couldn't hold back her future. Despite being a good person, poor Eun-sik climbed the 10-meter diving platform, reminiscing about his first meeting with Kyung-ah. His clownish appearance broke hearts. Meanwhile, Kyung-ah was upset because Eun-sik hadn't called on her birthday. Unaware of her mother's intervention, she went drinking with Kyung-ju. After a few drinks, Kyung-ah was drunk. Ji-hyo called, and Kyung-ju had him carry Kyung-ah home. This scene was witnessed by Eun-sik, who was hiding in the corner, there to deliver a gift. Heartbroken, Eun-sik remembered Kyung-ah's mother's words and silently took off his ring. For Kyung-ah's future, it might be time to let go. The next day, Eun-sik avoided Kyung-ah, but Kyung-ah found him. They sat and had a drink. Eun-sik brought up breaking up. Kyung-ah wanted to know why. Eun-sik, holding back tears, said the harshest words.
싫어 보이냐? 어? 야, 내 눈 봐봐, 야. 야, 어떻게 지 가르치던 코치랑 붙어먹던 년이랑 결혼을 하냐, 너는? 어? 너도 양심 있으면 그렇게 못하지.
Kyung-ah, still unaware of her mother's talk with Eun-sik, thought he was rejecting her and sat quietly by the pool for a long time, eventually throwing away the ring. After this, Ji-hyo entered Kyung-ah's life, and they seemed sweet together while Eun-sik buried himself in studies to forget her. Soon, Kyung-ah took a leave of absence and prepared to go to the US. Before leaving, she found Eun-sik for one last drink. Kyung-ah quickly got drunk, asking Eun-sik to carry her and blindfolding him, leading him to a hotel. That night, she wanted to give herself to Eun-sik. Though tempted, Eun-sik, aware of their changed status, chose to sleep on the floor until Kyung-ah's irritation made him join her on the bed. Holding the sleeping Kyung-ah, Eun-sik stifled his sobs, his heart breaking. Finally, he slipped out quietly. Later, the school organized a boxing match. The K1 club members, using dirty tricks like groin kicks and biting, still lost. Song-guk faced professional fighter Dennis Kong. Yang-chai, acting as his supporter, made provocative gestures, angering Song-guk, who wanted to teach Dennis Kong a lesson. Using several low blows, Song-guk finally enraged Dennis Kong, who threw him down and pounded him into submission. Yumi, concerned for her man, approached Dennis Kong, only to be captivated by his presence. Meanwhile, Kyung-ah, at the airport, was seen off by Kyung-ju, who accidentally revealed her mother's meeting with Eun-sik and brought her the gift from Eun-sik. It was a pair of beautiful high heels Kyung-ah had once admired. Eun-sik had hesitated to give them before, fearing they symbolized parting. Now, he could only wish her well, having lost her. Realizing the truth, Kyung-ah took a taxi back to school. At the boxing match, the K1 club was nearly wiped out, with only Eun-sik left fighting. Despite his strength, months of training couldn't match a professional's skill. Eun-sik was soon disoriented. Just as he picked up his mouthguard, Kyung-ah appeared before him.
너 빨리 안 일어나? 너 오늘 나한테 죽을 줄 알아? 빨리 일어나. 빨리 일어나.
Regaining his strength, Eun-sik returned to the ring and fought valiantly, but was ultimately defeated by Dennis Kong. Though he lost the match, Eun-sik won at life. Kyung-ah went to Eun-sik's room, where two pranksters had shoved a lollipop into his pants.
엄마가 집에 한번 오래.
아니야.
어디가?
The story ends with Eun-sik finally finding his true love. Despite being labeled a sex comedy, the film conveys more than humor. It speaks to young people's views on love, where sex is merely one aspect to face. Eun-sik's love is blind and wholehearted, and he's lucky because Kyung-ah is equally committed. They've shared pain and joy. They might meet better people in the future, but that's no longer what they desire. Only by cherishing the present and bravely pursuing true love can one find genuine happiness. That's it for today's video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe. See you next time.